Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Paulio Jr. And I've really have wanted to make this particular video for quite some time now. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to name the title of it, but basically, these are four foolproof stocks, at least for the long term and even in the short term. So I'll say yes, all of these stocks are for short term and long term. So we're not looking at day trading here, but we are looking at holding these at at least a couple months, a year, and if not, just well beyond that. So the stocks that I have actually um, personally chosen and have gone through are all pretty much companies that you have heard of, have definitely heard about. So the and what I wanted to do was keep this video very simple. We don't need to go too deep into any statistics or anything else like that. We just want to see, are these companies that we believe in and that have already proven themselves and are looks like they're going to continue to prove themselves in the future. And then also the second part of that is I would like to show you how I personally uh, invest in these companies. So these are the best companies, and I know I've mentioned them before in previous videos that are available that pretty much don't provide. There's only one that provides a dividend, but three of them do not. Apple does, but it's very small, but it's something. But these ones are pretty much ones we're just going strictly on the share price. And that's it. That's the bottom line. And so, like I said, I'm going to show you the stocks, and then I'm going to show you, in my experience, the best way to invest in these stocks if you do not have a ton of money and you want to do something weekly, bi-weekly, or even monthly, just how to invest in these stocks or what percentage should you put into these. So obviously the first one we are looking at is Amazon. So let's make this very simple. Obviously, almost every freaking person on the planet has heard about Amazon. So that's the one thing that is universal for all four of these stocks, is that they are worldwide. So that's a huge benefit. And their history has shown that even if they dip a little bit, they just they just keep plateauing. I mean, it's unbelievable. So that's the only thing we're really looking at here, is what's the history of this stock and how much influence do these stocks have in our life right now, and how much will they continue to have. So Amazon is just an obvious one. And even though the share price is quite, is very high, um, there are stock brokerage apps like Robinhood, like Webull, that I'll put in the description, where you can buy partial shares. That's one fantastic um, tool that we have available to us, in 2020 and going forward. So, simply put, Amazon is universal. There's almost something Amazon related in everybody's home or at everybody's fingertips. The historical data for Amazon is just clear as it just continues to go up. What we're looking at right now is a 5-year chart of when they were at, six in the 600s, a little bit in the 500s, and now they're at 3100. And then we look at their max, and then we see Okay, yeah, this was the 90s. Okay, they weren't doing too much until they really got into doing, going past selling books and so forth. So, um, so Amazon isn't going anywhere, and they are just going to continue to grow. And then, just as a side note, as far as the analytic reports that I have seen, Amazon has a 89%. So, as far as the amount of people that are um, working with Amazon, investing in Amazon, and so forth, 89% of people approximately continue to buy Amazon. About 9% hold it. That means they hold what they have and that's it. And then only 2% of people even consider selling Amazon. And that's granted because, why not? If you've made, X amount of money, why not consider selling, such a high price? But Amazon is one of those stocks that will easily reach 10 grand. And I feel as though that is extremely self explanatory. So that's it. That's as simple as it gets. The buying percentage is through the roof. Their charts show nothing but overall growth, and they're worldwide. And that's pretty much what I have to say about all of these. So, next thing we do is we go to Google. We look at the same thing. Google's universal, like Google's worldwide. They're working with pretty much every single Android and even have dug their heels a little bit into iPhones as well. If you're on your PC or you're on a tablet, whatever it is, there's something that you're using that is Google related. Now, this is a 5 year chart. We see it, 700 bucks roughly, and, has basically more than doubled to over 1500. And it's just gonna continue to do the thing, continue to do that. We look at the max. The max is nothing but growth, nothing but growth. Um, Google has so many things in store, just as Amazon does, as where there's people that are like just absolute diehard, Google whatever, just how there's diehard Apple people, you name it. So, and the stats for this was really cool. Is the As far as the people that are investing in Google overall, 90% are still continue to purchase Google stocks, and 10% are holding on to the stock and just waiting. And there's basically a 0% sell rate with Google, which is absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. But we're going to see a very common theme here all of these with all these stocks, with Amazon, with Google, and now moving forward to Apple. We look at Apple. We look at the 5 year. They did split their shares recently, so but um, essentially, from 5 years ago, I mean, we were at roughly 20 some bucks, and now we're you know 5 times that amount, and so it's pretty unbelievable. And the Macs. Now, obviously, Apple's been around for a long time. They're relative. Imagine buying Apple, in the '80s at let's see here, 9 cents a share. I mean, it'd be unbelievable. But and then, as you can see, it continues to go up. Especially, let's see here. So, I mean, there's just diehard Apple fans, out there, and that definitely has to do with the iPhone and with their MacBooks and just all the other things that Apple has their heels dug into. And again, like Amazon, like Google, they're worldwide and they are not going anywhere whatsoever. So, the analytic reports for Apple now they do seem, compared to Amazon and Google, they seem to not fluctuate, but they're the amount of people that are buying is 61%. The amount of people that are holding is 29%. and the amount of people that are selling is 10%. So, which is still really, 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 really good, really good. So, if only 10% of people are considering selling Apple, that's fantastic, and the rest are just holding and buying. So, it's Apple's not going anywhere. Amazon's not going anywhere. Google's not going anywhere. Apple is not going anywhere. And at least Apple gives you a little bit of a dividend. So, and I've reiterated this, whatever you have invested into the company, they will give you a percentage back of, just like a savings account would. They'll give you a percentage back each time, every quarter. So that you can reinvest in the company or whatever you have to do. So, and I just love that we can buy partial shares, that we don't have to buy whole shares anymore. So, and now I'm going to go on to one that might seem a little off kilter, but is definitely worth talking about. And that's Berkshire Hathaway A. So, this is Warren Buffett's main company. And let me just reiterate that Warren Buffett is highly invested into Apple. But anyway, again, okay. So this is Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway. So they have Berkshire Hathaway A and they have B. I don't suggest B because it doesn't seem like you're going to make that much money from it. You will see amazing numbers from Berkshire Hathaway A. I mean, just off the charts. And if you think that they just do real estate, you would be totally wrong. These guys are worldwide. They dominate so many sectors um, of what they work with. Obviously, real estate. They work with insurance. I think they have things to do with, um, they have their hands in like different utilities and that kind of thing. So, but they just they have been killing it since they've started pretty much. And how, like, if you see this, if you saw this on a stock where it says minus nine, it was down $921 today. The average person would be like, what the hell? Oh my God, I'm gonna lose everything. That's never the case, because look at that percentage. That's nothing to Berkshire Hathaway. That's a, you know, that's a raindrop in the ocean for them. This is nothing. But this is a huge. This stock price is ridiculous, absolutely insane. And their analytic reports are, was it 33% buy, 67% hold, and 0% sell. So here we see a 5 year. So, and then everybody had their dip around Corona, but still just unbelievable how it just kept going up. Had their dip, but they just continue to go up. And then we look at their max, and it's just unbelievable. Like if you had purchased one share, in the 80s of Berkshire Hathaway, at I saw a 320 there, you'd be just one share. You'd have over $328,500 $328,500 basically from one share. It's unreal. So, and these are people that, so this is a stock that the average person would look at and go, oh man, there's no way I'm touching that. I'm not going to make any money from that. And that's not necessarily true. Um, however I'm going to show you in 1 second um, the way I do my percentages and on how I invest in these different companies. And now you can change yours. You can do yours however you want. But I strongly suggest, um, with whatever extra money that you do have, and this is just a suggestion if you are interested in stocks, and you're not too interested in dividends and that kind of thing, you just want to go by the stock price, that these are four to stay with. All four are worldwide. All four have been around for quite some time now, at least 20 years, 25 years at the minimum. They show absolutely nothing but growth, and when they do dip, they come right back, and they come back with a vengeance. They have all four of these companies, Amazon, Google, Apple, and Berkshire Hathaway, have their hands in basically, you know, if not in everyone's household. If they don't have it in everyone's household, they have it in some form or piece that you might not even be aware of that you are working with. So, for instance, like Berkshire Hathaway works extremely close to with Geico, but as an example, but they do way more than just real estate. So, so yeah, they're the 5 year and the max for their charts are, it's all growth. It's nothing but growth, and that's all it's going to continue to be. These They're not going anywhere. These are no longer startup companies, obviously. And so these are companies that have dug their heels in and are staying exactly where they need to be. Now, what I'm going to show you next is just an example. It's not set in stone on how you should do it, but it is a suggestion on how you should do it if you are not working with an extravagant amount of money. And I'm going to show you this right now. So let's stop this share. You're going to see my face get very big, and share screen. Let's go here and share. Okay. So this is a very, very, very simplified way of how I currently uh, invest with these four different stocks. So I do have other stocks, and all those other ones have dividends. So I let those dividends reinvest in themselves, reinvest in the company. I leave them alone, and that's it. Now, obviously, these ones do not. So what we're looking at, and now this is just for me, and I'll do my best to explain why I have these percentages the way they are. So Amazon, now this is just for me. I put, so it says stock percentage regardless of price, and that just means regardless of how much I have or how much I'm going to invest. So if I'm going to do this on a weekly basis, whatever it is, then let's say on a weekly basis, I only had $100. That was it, just $100. I would put 60% of that into Amazon. After that, I would put 25% percent into Google. After that, 10% into Apple, and 5% into Berkshire Hathaway. Now, the simple reason for this is because Amazon, for the first three, is that Amazon is the most expensive. So I figure I'll put the most into that. And then Google is the second most expensive, per share. So I'll do, okay, 25%. Apple is the third, um, is the least expensive. So I'll put 10% into that. And I try to do this every week. And then Berkshire Hathaway, I like to use as just this backup thing, because I know how insane the um, how insane the stock price is. But if I were to continue to do this, continue to work And it doesn't have to be 5%. You can adjust your percentages. I mean, you could just make it 25% across the board if you really wanted to, and just do, whatever amount you put in, make it that, you know. But I strongly recommend having some sort of schedule. I mean, it does help to sometimes, to see when things are down and so forth. But overall, no matter what time you buy, you're going to make a profit. It doesn't matter. It does not. It doesn't matter anymore with these companies. None of these companies have the ceilings. Now, I know there are very few absolutes, and what I'm saying is not an absolute, but it's as close to an absolute as it gets. Yes, playing, investing in you know investing in stocks is, you know there's obviously a piece of uncertainty there, obviously, no question. um, but when we're looking at these ones, when we look at the data, when we look at the analytical reports, when we just keep it simple and we see how long that these stocks have been around, and what they have done, what they are doing right now, and what they're going to do in the future, we're seeing nothing but potential and nothing but exponential growth. And it's that simple. So we see these four companies, like Amazon, Google, Apple, Berkshire Hathaway. They are going nowhere, absolutely nowhere. I do not see anything in the next, unless there's, like, I personally do not see anything in the next 10 years that would cause Amazon, Google, Apple, or Berkshire Hathaway to go even remotely under, or fall by the wayside at all. All I see are these stocks just and they're just going to keep on going. It's that simple. They're The analytic reports have shown that more people are buying and holding these stocks than they are selling it. And it's a 9 out of 10. That's 9 times out of 10. And in some cases, like Google, it's 10. It's a 10 out of, like, Amazon and Google and Berkshire Hathaway. We're closer to 10 out of 10 people are either buying or holding the stock, and they're not getting rid of it because they still see the extreme potential that these stocks have. So I highly suggest, while you have the time, even if these stocks do seem high, to get a stock brokerage app like Robinhood or like Webull, where you can buy partial shares without paying any fees whatsoever at all. I'll put links in the description for them both, because if you don't have them, you should, because you'll also get free stocks on top of it. You can get up to 4 free stocks at one time with Webull, which is really cool. And then Robinhood's just an automatic free one, just for signing up. So it's pretty awesome. Um, but it's as simple as that. So just to reiterate, these stocks aren't going anywhere. They are. It's unbelievable. They're not going anywhere. They will dip. Obviously, that's going to happen. But these stocks will just continue to really outperform, you know, 95. That's pretty gracious, but 95% of what is out there. No question in my mind. So if I were to invest in 4, if I had 4 to choose from, and you said, Paul, I need you to tell me 4 stocks to invest in that you feel entirely safe investing in, that do not provide dividends, these would be the four, even though Apple has a very small dividend, but still. I would say these are the four, and these are the percentages that I would use. You can use your percentage how you like. So, but you will see, even if you tweaked your percentages, um, from, let's say you took off, you made Amazon, what you call 50%, and then you gave that extra 10% to Berkshire. You made that 15%, whatever it is. Regardless of how much you put in, regardless of the percentage, you're just going to see you're just going to see long term, and even most definitely short term, these stocks just continually going up. So that's as simple as I can make it. I hope I helped you guys out. Luckily, we have the ability to in to use to invest using partial shares and not having to buy one entire share. So you can slowly build your way up. And I'll say it, I've said this, I said this 5 years ago, and I said this 3 years ago, I said this 2 years ago. I said, I wish I had invested in Amazon. I wish I had invested in Google. And then if it took until, you know, relatively recently to start doing it, to stop being so afraid of losing money and not getting worked up when I see that these stocks start to dip or that they're going into the red, and not to pull out immediately, and just knowing that's just how the game, that's just how it goes. But overall, I mean, you're just gonna, even if you just want to double your money, you can buy as much as you want, set a limit when to sell, and then double or triple your money, and just be on your way. Or if you just have a percentage that you have a percentage you want to make, or you have a dollar amount you want to make. These are things to consistently do. So at the, like I said, I would create a schedule, do it at least, if you can, once a week. If you can't do it once a week, then do it once every other week. If you can't do it once every other week, then do it once every 3 weeks. You can't do it like that, then do it once a month. That's it. So regardless of what you do, these stocks are going to keep going up. You, they're all undervalued like crazy. The potential is amazing. So, and that's all I have. So I want to make this very simple. Excuse my, if you can't, if there was any inconsistencies on how I was speaking, my one tooth is still cracked from, uh, from a lovely whatever, a lovely accident. So, um, but I really hope this helps you guys. You can screenshot this. If this is the amount that you have to work with, then maybe then use this as a template for now, and change it up as you personally see fit. But these are foolproof stocks in my opinion. In my opinion, nothing is absolute. There's very few things that are absolute, but these companies aren't going anywhere. This is as foolproof as it gets. So to keep investing and not having to worry about it, not having to worry about what they're going to do, or how these stocks are going to do, and that holding on to them is just more of a benefit than letting them go so quickly. But that's all I have, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please leave a comment. To the best of my ability, I will try to get back to you. So I get quite a few comments every day. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, you're awesome. Thank you so much. And have a good night, a good day, whatever it is. See ya.